let's see. We're good. What's up, everybody? Wow, the hair was not going for that singular part in the middle. That is my bad. Let's fix that. Yeah, 500 on the deadlift. My plan was honestly to go to 455 and try and do like 4 reps. And then I was thinking about going 475 because NH1776, good suggestion there. Probably what I should have done, but the 405 today felt really good, clean, easy, no uncertainty in the back. So I was like, I think we're almost over the hill here. And I set up for 500 and I went one notch too tight on the belt because it felt a little loose because I'm, like the 205 body weight range lately. So I went one too tight and I got set up and it just felt really weird. So I just walked away, waited a couple minutes, adjusted, went back to the number 2 spot on the belt. That felt good. And that's what you saw, the 1 rep at the 500. But I moved my belt down a little lower because where I tweaked my back was a little lower. And so I thought maybe I was positioning my belt too high, or at least maybe that was part of it. So shifted the belt down a little bit, felt much more solid. Was considering doing another set, but I think I'm going to take my victory, move on to the front squats, and then next week we'll try and lock in 500 again and just keep getting more comfortable and going in the right direction. Should be good. All right, let's check the weight. Hang on. All right, so I do have the deadlift and squat pants on, so I'd add a little bit for those. We'll see. All right, 206.6, nice. So probably right around 206. All right, let me show you the workout. Hang on, we're traveling. 500 for 1, let's go. Yes, I know I've done much heavier, but when you're building back confidence with something like this, you gotta be cautious. You can't go right back to full tilt because you're just gonna blow something out again and then have to go back to, an even lower starting point. My, tweak wasn't that terrible because I was able to start at 405 and build upwards from there. So, I'm grateful for that, but I still want to be very cautious because, injury-free training time leads to good results typically. If you have high intensity training and you're always popping something, then not so great in the end. Rather have that just nice and steady, linear, even if it's slow progression. We're going to go front squats, 245 with a pause, heel elevated, all that. And then we'll go calves and those are feeling good. Significantly more than a 500-pound deadlift, but I aggravated my back recently, so the climb back up is going to be not as bad as when I worked up to the 600-pound deadlift, if that makes sense, because I did 600 a while ago. I don't know, 5 months, 4 months, or something like that. And that was all pretty recent. So my body, we should, as long as the back keeps feeling good, we should be able to accelerate back to that point. I'm not going to say quickly, but I would expect over the next 8 to 10 weeks, we should be able to get back to 550, 570, and then possibly still have a shot at hitting a PR before the new year. So, for anyone that joined the channel last week and saw me do 455, and like, wait a second, you just went to 500. Like, yes, that's because, like I said, we did 600 about 4 months ago, and we're, just recovering. I'm just being cautious. Like, I think we could have done a little more today, but the goal is to have uninjured training, consecutive weeks, right? Because each little tweak can set you back quite a bit. So try not to do that. All right, I think these are good. Woo! Calves are growing. So I think what we're going to do is one set on the rear foots because they're so much fun. They are good for me. So we're going to do them. We're going to go 65s for 8. That should be decent. And we'll go back to the calves. I'm going to write down my stats for the day. Hey, if you're somebody that's watching this channel and you're not working out, I recommend start today, as long as your doctor says it's okay and whatnot, and you're able. There's not going to be a day that is easier, at least from what I've seen working with people. The motivation, you can have little spikes of moments where you're inspired and whatnot, but typically the motivation increases as someone gets stronger, better, leaner, and implements a good routine. The motivation at the beginning is not necessarily there. So a lot of times the thought process, I hear this a lot with people, they're saying, well, I'm gearing up, I'm waiting until I feel ready. It's like, you can't do that. You just got to start, begin, build that motivation. I'm more motivated than I was last year because I've continued, because I've progressed, right? So that mindset is flawed, in my opinion. And if you're already somebody that lifts, you probably understand that because you see how easy it can be to fall out of routine if you stop going for a week. I gotta write this down so I don't forget. Front squat. A lot of times I don't talk about, the beginning of lifting and working out, because I'm assuming most of the viewership is people that already do work out, but I just been thinking about that a little bit over the past couple days, because I recently was talking with somebody and they said almost exactly that. Like, it's not necessarily the greatest time. Like, I'm not sure if I'm ready. And, I was just like, you got to do this. Like, do this for you. You owe it to yourself. Give yourself, I don't know, what the wording would be, but give yourself a chance. Like, go for it. You'll feel better. If you could tell yourself how you're going to feel in 3 months after lifting, like if that version of you could, come from the future and come back and tell you like, hey, you're going to feel great, then everyone would lift. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. You got to put in the work first, then you feel good afterwards. All right, so we did 245, 15, split squat, 65s. This is going to be fun. All right. Anyway, just wanted to share. Interested to hear what other people have to say about that. And I can't even remember at the beginning of my lifting journey because it was different for me because I was too light for something, so I had to gain weight. And then I started lifting. My dad showed me some exercises, and then I was like, hey, I kind of like this. This is fun. All right. Little pops in the back. Wait for this diesel monstrosity to go by. Yep. We get it. There's no muffler. Very cool. All right, let's finish these. Seen a lot of people loading up crazy weight on those. I don't know what the deal is, but I used to try and do that. I highly recommend you do not do that. Stick to 8 to 12 reps. Don't get hurt. You know, when you take away balance, in my opinion, it seems like there's more chance that you're going to get hurt. Obviously, if you can strengthen yourself, having to work the balance a little bit, that's great, but not worth getting hurt. Trying to hit I saw someone doing it was a really short range of motion, but it was like 275, something like that, on the rear foot split squats, and it just looked so gross. The person was like leaning way over, and I was like, what are we doing here? I don't know. It's cool to max out, but stuff like that, I don't know. I did it once for like 4 reps on the rear foot and pulled a little something in the hamstring. Then I was like, you know, maybe I should try and be smarter. So ever since then, I've just kept them relatively high rep. This is probably the longest I've kept them in my routine. And I think it's because I set out with the intention of just doing 1 set, maybe 2. I should move these safeties up just in case it pops backward. All right. That's it. That was a good one today. Appreciate everybody watching the video, and tomorrow, it's only Thursday, right? Tomorrow we got chest and triceps. Should be good. I'll probably go for 305 again and see if we can get maybe a really comfortable 4 or possibly 5, because the weight wasn't down too much today, and we got the grilled cheese and tomato soup, and that's a classic weight gain meal if I've ever seen one. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm feeling good right now. If your motivation stacks, is what I found, and that's the whole principle of what I was talking about before with the flawed mindset of waiting until you feel ready. Like, if you don't work out, you're never going to feel ready. I mean, it's just more than likely not going to happen. There are just people who say, you know, all right, now's the time. I'm going to do it, you know, but they're not necessarily feeling super motivated. I think, you know, you have that push of motivation right around the New Year's, but a lot of times that's kind of just like guilt and feeling like this is what everyone else is doing and I should be doing this and that kind of motivation does not necessarily last. I mean, like I talk about in every video, you got to find a good routine, stick to it, track your progress, track your food, like all the basic stuff. Supplements are cool if you need them, but don't hyper focus on that. Like get the big blocks in, get the effort in, get the routine. Working out at the same time. I work out at the exact same time almost every single day, 2 p.m. Pretty much on the dot, Monday through Sunday. Finding that kind of thing, if possible. If it's early in the morning, I mean, you know, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I used to do that. Then I tried to slowly transition my schedule, and with personal training, it's typically early in the morning, late at night. So I've worked towards that, you know, creating a schedule where I could train at 2 p.m. You know, it didn't just happen overnight. There's benefits to having your own schedule and downsides also. So yeah, try and find the same time every day if you can. Get your body in the routine. Same thing with sleep. We'd go on a long journey conversation about that, so we're not going to do that today. Really appreciate you. Stay strong. And if you're somebody that's thinking about starting a workout routine and your doctor said it's okay, you should go for it. It feels great. When you're moving forward and progressing, one of the best feelings. And it's the one of the only things in life that you actually have total control over. A lot of other things, not so much. Employment, family, you know, things of that nature. Obviously, we have some control over, but fitness, you know, the saying, 200 pounds is always 200 pounds. If you put in work, you'll see results. So that's the pep talk for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are somebody that just started lifting, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know where you're at, what you're trying to do, and we'll get you fired up, and we'll push some motivation your way. All right, that's it. Peace.